Now, a network television first. A NASCAR All-Star race from the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway, delivered by iRacing. Featuring Cup Series champion Kyle Busch, Daytona 500 winner Denny Hamlin, Series champs Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Kurt Busch. And out of retirement, Dale Jr. and Bobby Labonte. 35 of NASCAR's top drivers for 100 laps. Racing for something more than money or points. You know, bragging rights. Live on FS1 now. Welcome to the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway for the NASCAR Pro Invitational iRacing Series opener. It's a beautiful day in South Florida. The grandstand is packed with virtual fans. All right, let's just pull back the curtain, Wizard of Oz style. Here we are. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the Steve Burns studio of Fox Sports Charlotte headquarters. I'm Mike Joy. He's Hall of Famer Jeff Gordon. We're practicing social distancing. John Edwards hiding in the shadows. Larry McReynolds in another room. And Clint Boyer, who's going to be competing while he's part of our broadcast team. We'll see how that goes. All right, folks, we know this is not real racing. Sure wish it was on a Sunday. But it's not a video game either. iRacing is a very sophisticated simulation, Jeff, that real race drivers as well as armchair racers use and compete against each other.
Well, these racers that are here, they've been practicing really hard, taking this very serious, and it is very realistic in so many ways. The way the cars drive are very similar to the real cars. Here are some shots from practice in our qualifying session that just ended a short time ago. 2-3 wide racing. You're going to see guys like Chase Briscoe from the Xfinity Series, as well as Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion, is in the field today. But just like when I say how difficult this can be or realistic, practice and experience pays off. Look, Jimmy Johnson goes around on the back straightaway. Even one of the favorites here today, William Byron in the 24 car, who's great at iRacing, has a lot of runs under his belt, went for a spin. This is Anthony Alfredo from the Xfinity Series. Good thing there's a reset button there, Mike. And here's Eric Jones, one of, I think, 3 competitors from Joe Gibbs Racing going to compete today. And our very own Clint Boyer, who's in the Charlotte studios in his own rig, is going to take us along for the ride. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
You can spend a lot or a little to go iRacing. Some of these rigs, Denny Hamlin's, is rumored to cost way up in the tens of thousands of dollars.
Here's Jimmy Johnson. This is actually a rig that he got prepared for an upcoming IndyCar test. So that's one of the McLaren rigs. Here's Kyle Larson.
And at the other end of the scale, here is Timmy Hill. And this is a Logitech unit, costs a couple $100, but you hook that up to your PC, use your single monitor, you're ready to go. And Timmy Hill, by the way, is one of the favorites today. All right, Clint Boyer joins us from just down the hall, where he has hauled his sim rig here from Mocksville, North Carolina, set it up, he's got online, he's practiced, he's qualified, he's ready to go. What's the pucker factor right about now?
It's wide open, boys. Let me tell you something. You nailed it. The sims are all over the place. Everybody saw that space shuttle rig that Denny Hamlin has. Who knows how much money he spent on that thing? But me, the old dirt racer, man, a guy I grew up racing with, Chad Wheeler, back home in Oklahoma. He has these WR1s. I think Larson, a bunch of us have these. It's a lot of fun. This iRacing deal is such a neat thing. I think the best takeaway from this all is when we're done with this mess, I can promise you, from trying to get some experience on this thing at Homestead, trying to learn as much as I can this week, people that are on this thing all hours of the day, and more importantly, all hours of the night. I think my wife is about to kill me.
Now, Clint, I got to ask you, I mean, how realistic is this? We're actually seeing where guys with a lot of experience. Garrett Smithley is our pole sitter for this race today. Some guys that you don't normally hear about in the Cup Series maybe, but yet we do have Cup veterans. What are the realistic aspects of this, and what's a lot different?
Well, I think first and foremost is you can't beat experience, right? You can't beat experience in anything in life. The more laps, the better you are in anything you do, whether that's racing a NASCAR truck, a Gander truck, or Xfinity Series, or our Cup Series. Laps logged, logging laps is the best thing you can do for experience. That being said, all week long I've been trying to learn joining these hosted races. You know, Tim Duggar, a country music guy. I was in a street stock race with Dale Jr. in some chat room. Everybody's FaceTiming, trying to help me get this figured out because Lord knows I have no idea what to do on a computer or how to set it up. But had a ton of fun this week learning this iRacing. I think I qualified 11th, which is very scary because I know there's a lot of cars behind me. I have no idea how I out-qualified Alex Bowman because I know he's an iRacer. These guys are in trouble behind me. There's probably going to be a caution, and there's a good chance I'm going to be the cause of it.
Listen to him. He's up to 8,000 RPM already.
Telling you, I'm nerved up, boys.
Now we know what it's really like for Clint Boyer inside the cockpit of a real race car.
All right, thanks to social distancing, our roving reporters are in Lake Norman and north of Mooresville. First, Michael Waltrip.
Hey, thanks, Mike. It's a grid walk. I've made my way to Denny Hamlin's living room, and I'm finding him right here in his grid. Hey, Denny Hamlin, look, I brought you some tacos.
No.
No tacos?
Get out of here with that.
But seriously, what are some of the things fans can look for today as a key to winning this race?
I think it's going to be found in the details. Getting on and off pit road, not messing up on pit road, because I think everyone's going to be fast. Passing will be difficult, but in the long run, you're going to see the best guys go to the front.
Ooh, is this a fun track to drive for you?
It is pretty fun, I'll be honest with you. We've all got a lot of laps, so there's no excuses at this point.
That's what I'm hearing all around, guys. Regan, these guys are having a lot of fun.
Michael, fun is definitely the name of the game today. One guy that I know will be smiling, Dale Jr., longtime sim racer, getting ready to hop into your simulator and start this race. What can we expect out of this today?
It's going to be a wild race at the start. A lot of these guys haven't spent a lot of time on the sim, so I think there'll be plenty of cautions in the first half of the race. The second half of the race, though, that should weed itself out. We'll have some long green flag runs. That's when the guys that are using the sim and know a lot about how to save their tires are going to shine.
Can we call this a comeback for you, maybe? You haven't raced a cup car in a while.
It's a sort of a comeback, I guess, but I'm just really glad to be a part of it. Bonnie's in there. I mean, there's a lot of cool guys that are a part of this. A bit of a mix between the Cup, Xfinity, and truck guys participating. Timmy Hill, man, I mean, he's a guy that's I'm kind of pulling for. I'm in the race, and I'm pulling for Timmy Hill. He's going to be really fast. Byron is the guy to beat, though. I think he's got to be. Denny Hamlin's going to be quick. He's been putting lots of laps in.
Mike, he's saying sort of a comeback. I'm calling it a comeback. Junior is racing in a race on Sunday once again.
Thanks, Regan. Next time, move away from the fountain, please, when you set up that interview. Hey, Garrett Smith is on the pole. William Byron, Ty Majeski in row 2. How about Ross Chastain, Watermelon Man? There's Dale Jr. with Chase Briscoe. A lot of your favorites starting up there in the top 6 spots.
How about 3/1000ths of a difference between first and second place?
Timmy Hill, Parker Kligerman, Denny Hamlin, Landon Cassill. I'm going to go out on a limb with my saw and say the winner's going to come from those first 5 rows. Larson,
Larson,
Di Benedetto. There's Anthony.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace, also somebody that has a lot of iRacing experience.
You know, car owners would love this, Jeff, because you can push a button and completely fix your car at no expense. And they'll get to do that twice, up to twice during this race.
Yeah, and unlimited sets of tires, too.
And they're free.
And they're free.
Gosh. All right, back of the grid, 35-car field, and all based on qualifying times. Only a half-second spread from Garrett Smithley to Jimmy Johnson. Now we're going to go out to Concord, North Carolina, and the president of Motor Racing Outreach, Billy Malden, with today's invocation.
Let's pray. Gracious God and Heavenly Father, be present now with people around the globe who need your healing touch. May they feel your power and presence through the care of doctors and nurses and loved ones. And for all the healthcare workers, researchers, and first responders on the front line, protect them, renew their energy, and sustain them, and give them wisdom. Guide our leaders who are making decisions at this time with regards to our futures, our families, our communities and countries, and all the nations of this world. Lord, we are so grateful for all those who continue to work each day so that we can have access to food and medications. Protect and watch over them, as well as our armed forces here at home and abroad who continue to guard our freedom. Heavenly Father, may your peace and presence surround us all and bring us through this stronger, wiser, and more compassionate for each other than ever before. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Next, from his garage in Nashville, Tennessee, platinum-selling Curb Records recording artist Dylan Scott with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Steve Craddock has offered up his drone for the flyover, but the virtual Department of Homeland Security shot that down. No, the idea, not the drone. iRacing next on FS1.
Drivers, start your engines!
Crank them up, Hank, crank them up. Slide it off. I know, boss. You can start it up when you're ready.
Welcome back to the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway in Florida, where you have a chance to win cash during today's iRace. Yeah, it's the Fox Super 6. Got to have that. It's a Sunday.
Absolutely,
we're on Fox. We got a race. All right. The jackpot is $5,000, $1,000 guaranteed. Download the Fox Bet Super 6 app, correctly pick how 6 drivers will finish, and you could win up to $5,000. Hey, Jeff, we could win a virtual $1,000 today.
Wait, do we get to participate in this one this time, Mike?
No,
Darn.
not allowed, and neither is Larry Mack. Now, Denny Hamlin has listed some virtual odds just based on how he has competed against these drivers on iRacing. Interesting, the field is 9-1, but one driver is 10-1. That in a minute. Okay, here
Majeski's won 80% of his races, by the way.
Here is Zach Novak, our Grand Marshal.
Drivers, start your engines!
Crank them up, Hank, crank them up. Slide it off. I know, but you can start it up when you're ready. Yeah, it's
Thank you, Zach. Zach is 18. He's from Connecticut. He's the Coca-Cola iRacing Series champion. He won $40,000 iRacing last year in Homestead from Clinton, Connecticut. Thanks for joining us. And joining us from his own studio, where he is every Sunday on Fox, is Larry McReynolds.
Well, Mike, let me tell you something else that'll be real today. Will be strategy. This track is hard on tires. Tire management will be huge, and when you take those 4 fresh tires, especially on the green, that can make a difference in who wins and loses this race. Let's take a look at the race analysis right now. We're going to go 100 laps, 150 miles. Fuel window, 58 to 62 laps. Tire window, 35 to 40 laps. Pit road speed, 50 miles per hour. And Mike, if you're going to ride with Clint Boyer, my best advice, reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time.
All right, Kip Childress volunteered to drive the pace car today, so that may or may not be him behind the wheel. But 1 pace lap is all you get, and we're ready to go racing.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that pace car is going to pull off right here off of turn 4, and we're going racing right away. And one thing, that they've been able to simulate, Mike, is clean air versus dirty air. So you will see where being out front has its advantages.
All right, ready for the green flag. We're racing in Homestead. Garrett Smithley on the break from William Byron.
And something else that you saw the race analysis from Larry McReynolds, saving tires is going to be a very important aspect of the strategy. So you might want to push here early, like we see William Byron trying to take the lead from Garrett Smithley right here at the beginning, and he wants that clean air. Then he's going to back off and try to pace himself to maintain as much rubber with those tires and grip on the longer run. Ty
Majeski, Chase Briscoe, 3rd and 4th. They're among the big 4 of NASCAR drivers in iRacing, along with Smithley and Timmy Hill.
Yeah, and Ty Majeski, a little surprising where he qualified. I think, we were expecting him to maybe start a little bit further up in the field, but already pushing and has got himself a little bit further up there. Oh, we got a
Anthony Alfredo.
Spin. Now, one thing about iRacing, you won't always see cautions, but a caution did come out for this incident.
Now, despite all of the virtual damage on that car, usually in iRacing, drivers have one opportunity to bring their car into the pits and get a reset, in effect a brand new car, because this is an expedition and it's an exposition. It's a virtual race, all right? So we're going to give you an opportunity to do that twice. Now, was there contact here?
See Bubba Wallace right here behind Alfredo. You see the 12 of Cindric had an issue off of turn 4. Alfredo tried to avoid him, but just couldn't. They made contact. So now those drivers will get a reset and have a new race car to start this race, get back out on track with.
How many times did you wish you could have said that?
Oh, man, that's one thing you don't have in the real world is a reset button.
You know, guys, we've only run 2 laps, but when I look back there like Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8, Chase Elliott in the 9, we talked about fresh tires, how important they are. Come on and get 4 more because, as you said, Mike and Jeff, you get all you want.
Yeah, definitely, Larry. I talked to some guys, Dale Jr. being one of them. He told me if you have 5 or more laps on the tires, watch for them to come down pit road. But as you said, we've only got a couple laps, maybe even one real hard lap. So I think that's why you're going to see guys further back in the field that might come back there and get those tires like you mentioned.
All right, Kyle Busch just passed the pace car. Not sure what that's
Got
about.
the wave around.
Is he the lucky dog? Was he a lap down? Not sure.
It may have just been where the pace car ended up coming out. So here you see.
I think this is Alfredo we're riding
this is on board for Alfredo. Yep. You see Cinder get a little loose, tries to correct it, gets in the outside wall. Nowhere for Alfredo to go. Unfortunately, a lot of damage. And that damage, by the way, it's real. If you damage your right front fender, just even if you brush the wall slightly, that is going to affect the performance and aerodynamics of the car. It's amazing what iRacing has done with the modeling of the cars, the suspension, the aerodynamics, the racetrack itself, how they've scanned the tracks, every bump, the abrasiveness of the track, and the tire modeling is very accurate.
iRacing has scanned road courses and oval tracks around the world, and even variations of tracks. You can run the quarter-mile Legends track on the front stretch at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You can run the Roval. In fact, Dale Jr. just led a bunch of people last month up to clean up North Wilkesboro Speedway, so that could be modeled for iRacing. Caution is out. We're going to, in the words of the late Renee Charlene, we're going to go pay for some of this here show. We'll be right back. Glad you could join us at the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway for the first NASCAR Pro Invitational iRace, which has 3 laps in the books. Spotter Kevin Hamlin ready to go in his full regalia there, ready to spot and checking it out. All right, glad to have all of you with us on social media and watching on FS1. So Clint Boyer started 11th, running 11th. How were those first couple laps?
I was just trying to settle in, get in line, and apparently some of them boys in the back didn't understand that. Jimmy, I don't know what's happened to Jimmy. I think he had a restroom break. We've had to reboot the whole game because Jimmy was out and about, but we're back quarantined. We're going green, boys, off of 4. Get ready.
All right. Now, of course, Clint is able to hear from iRacing Control when the race is going to go green. We don't have race control plugged in here, but that's okay. William Byron, Garrett Smithley on the front row, Majeski and Chastain, Briscoe and Kligerman, Hill and Earnhardt, Cassill and Hamlin are your top 10. And there's your scoring pylon. Pace car's in, and that means go.
Yeah, there's no restart box like we have in the real world, so once that pace car pulls off, the driver that starts the race, like in this position here with William Byron, was ready and able to just get the green flag going by going up through the gears and accelerating. I think I'm really anxious to watch what Ty Majeski here does. He's in third position. He really wants that first position to get in the clean air, but he's also got to save those tires. How hard is he willing to push it here? And I think it's really important for us to say this. These are all fixed setups. So iRacing has control of whether they have open setups where you can adjust and get ready and do all kinds of different springs and shock setups like in the real world. But in this particular race, and we'll go to Larry McReynolds, who can explain what a fixed setup is.
Yeah, every car you see out there, every driver, their setup is identical. You cannot really even make adjustments during a pit stop like we see with wedge and track bar. The only adjustments these cars have is from what the driver can do with brake bias. More front, a little more rear. That's the only adjustment they have throughout this entire race.
I'm telling you, network television could take a page or two from iRacing's graphics. This is awesome. Every detail of this racetrack down to the billboards and the light poles have been replicated here. As you were on board with Denny Hamlin in 8th place.
Yeah, and you can see Chase Briscoe, even Ty Majeski is on the outside. It takes a lot out of that right front tire to run that outside lane, the bottom lane, unlike in the real world, where the top against the wall seems to be the preferred lane. Here in iRacing, it seems to be that very bottom lane. You can make up some time in that top lane, but you're going to use up the right side tires a lot by doing so.
And watch how the surface of the track will take rubber as the run goes on, as Hamlin slices down to the bottom.
A little contact between the 6 car. That's Ross Chastain in that 6 car, and Chase Briscoe on the outside made a little bit of contact going into turn 3.
Parker Kligerman there is 77, edging to the front of that group. Jeff, they even go out and model the undulations of the surface of the racetrack. If there's a bumpy part of the track, or if there's a little whoop over a tunnel, like say at Texas, that is part of the iRacing model.
Well, and I can't say this about these rigs or desktop setups like Timmy Hill has and what we hear Ty Majeski has, but if you're Denny Hamlin in that rig has motion. Every bump on this racetrack, it hops up and down. There's feedback in the wheel, so when you can to feel the tires, because you can't really do it with the seat of your pants, so you have to do it through the steering wheel and through visual. That steering wheel will feed back what the car is doing over bumps in different parts of the racetrack.
Trouble. There's a crash. Right down the front straightaway. And Jimmy Johnson is among the cars against the wall. There's Kurt. Oh, that car is all torn up. Second caution of the day, Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch, down the front straightaway. Now, we do have a lot of different camera angles. We have the blimp camera. We will have replays, and all of those are controlled from the iRacing studio, their headquarters up in Chelmsford, Mass., where we want to thank iRacing VP Steve Myers and his entire crew for all the tremendous help they've been to us in putting this event together and helping guide us TV folks through it. Let's see what happens here, Jeff.
You can see a little bit of contact there with Ryan Truex and the 38 John Hunter Nemechek. And then they collect Justin Allgaier, that just sends him spinning, and everybody else is just trying to get it through there cleanly. And you see even Jimmy Johnson collected him with that left front.
So Larry, 15 laps in, what do you do?
I think you're seeing it right there, because we're not going to go back racing until about lap 20. What this would do for these drivers, Mike, getting these 4 fresh tires here, it would almost make it a one-stop race. So not surprised to see pit road very, very busy here. 4 tires filled up with fuel.
Now, iRacing is a driver-centric platform, so the driver will see his signboard man and he must stop directly in his pit box for service. What you won't see is crews jumping over the wall and working on these cars. Again, from the driver's point of view, that's not necessary, so that would be a whole lot of extra bandwidth that really doesn't add to the playing of the game from the driver's seat. So a couple of quick stops there. I wonder
is that
if
Denny Hamlin
got
doing a 2-tire stop, I believe.
That's definitely an option you have, 2 or 4 tires. That's exactly what they did.
Well, I wonder how that'll work out. The NASCAR Foundation working with Feed the Children to help families in the Miami area impacted by the virus pandemic. You can help by making a donation at NASCARFoundation.org/response. We're about to go green. Quick word with Landon Cassill, who's on his sim rig. And Landon, heard you even sold a sponsor for your car for this race.
Hey, yeah, Mike, I've got Radius on the car as a good friend of mine and wanted some of the action. So we just appreciate this broadcast and trying to save my tires for a long run. I gave up a couple spots, but we're about to go green and hopefully I can climb back through the field.
All right, good luck. Here we go. We're going green.
See how Denny Hamlin gets off to the start, gets that clean air that he was searching for. That's why he took 2 tires on that stop, but how is that going to hold up against these other guys with 4?
Yeah, he was the only car to take 2 tires on that pit stop. Everybody else got 4 fresh ones.
You know, Mike, Jeff, what I have learned this week is changing just right side tires, even here at Homestead, it can make the car very loose for 2 or 3 laps.
You can see already William Byron going after Denny Hamlin.
Smithley on the outside.
That's Ross Chastain to the inside of Garrett Smithley.
Kligerman right behind them in the 77, then Timmy Hill.
And you heard Landon Cassill talk about saving tires. Everybody, all the drivers that I've talked to said that that is such a huge part of this event because of the tire modeling and this abrasive racetrack, how much you have to hold back. So, I'll be curious to see guys going by Jimmy Johnson, who, he's going to get into some cars.
Big pile up there.
And the caution is out. Oh, that's a big wreck going on. Back behind these leaders, they were fortunate to clear Jimmy Johnson, get through there. It looked like Jimmy's car slid up the racetrack, made contact with somebody. And a lot of those cars, Mike, were side by side, so nowhere to go.
Clint Boyer might have been right in the middle of that. He's back at 29th after the pit stop and the restart. But it was Jimmy piling up hard with Ryan Preece. Clint, how was it? Were you in that?
This day's gone from good to bad.
No, come on.
Man.
I'm destroyed. I'm going in for my first redo, boys. That is not good. How many laps are we in? Already on the first one.
21.
Jimmy on old tires. Back from a restroom break. He was too eager.
Wow. Yeah, tell us, Clint, old tires versus new tires. I'm even hearing that new tires don't have a lot of grip for a lap. Cars get real loose.
Really loose. And you asked a question about being realistic. That's the most realistic thing about that. Actually, these cars are harder to drive. I hate to say that, than our cars. Our cars are pretty forgiving. When you get loose, they kind of catch themselves a little bit. This thing, when it gets loose, she gone.
Your car got destroyed in that.
Just hit the reset button. You'll be right back in it.
All right, let's ride along with Clint.
See, they're already wrecking up ahead of them. Oh, we needed another spotter, I think, for Clint. Where's the brake pedal, Clint?
I was already loose. As soon as I hit the brakes, I got loose. Hold on a minute. I'm redoing stuff. I'm out of control right now.
You just cleaned out Landon Cassill.
I got you guys in one ear. I got somebody in the other. Junior's on somebody's rear end. He's mad about something. This is awesome.
And you got to be an IT guy.
And I need to be an engineer as well.
Yeah.
Catch the 47.
That would be Ricky Stenhouse. Well, we still got 32 cars on the lead lap, counting all the redos. We've had a big pileup at lap 20 in this iRacing spectacular at Homestead-Miami. Oh my gosh. Okay. Welcome back to iRacing on Fox at the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. Denny Hamlin, William Byron ready for the restart. Parker, Toyota versus Chevrolet. I guess it's okay to say that because that's how those cars are dressed. Ross Chastain, Parker Kligerman, Ty Majeski, Garrett Smithley, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 7th with Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson with Bubba Wallace up into the top 10. Then Christopher Bell, Anthony Alfredo, everybody on the lead lap except John Hunter Nemechek and Jimmy Johnson, who had computer issues, are a couple laps down. Otherwise, 33 cars on the lead lap, getting a little heat in the tires and getting ready for this restart.
Yeah, I think, Mike, we're really starting to see those iRacers who have experience in laps in the virtual world starting to come to the front. Great call so far by Denny Hamlin, taking 2 tires on that last time they came down pit road. Was able to get the lead and get that clean air and hold off William Byron with the 4 fresh tires. Let's see if he can do that again on this next restart.
Note how the sides of the cars are picking up a little bit of tire rubber and a little bit of dust and dirt. Those numbers will be all but illegible by the end of the race. Now the track is cleaned of rubber as we get ready for this restart, and Hamlin stands on it.
Now, as you see these guys running side by side, they have a couple different options as far as spotters are concerned. They can actually have somebody in their ear watching a different angle of their car, spotting for them, or there's an in-app or in-race person that could be in your ear telling you certain things, or just use your mirrors. So about 3 different options on how you have a spotter clear you. As we see right now, William Byron fighting really hard with Ross Chastain on the inside.
There's also a driver chat, which I think Clint is unfortunately plugged into.
Yeah, I loved it. He said it's just like when you have a crew chief, right? It costs you a 10th.
I'm right here.
But every time you talk to us drivers, we lose a 10th. I'm wondering what that chat session is doing to Clint Boyer.
It's so hard. I'm listening to you guys play-by-play or what's going on in front of me, as I'm just going to let the 22 go by.
Oh, we got to check up.
See, I can't hear a spotter.
I'll be your spotter.
What happened?
Ross Chastain and William Byron got together going into one.
It's still green. And
it's still green.
Past, Jeff.
Sorry.
Well, now they're wrecking.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, boy.
That's the whole back stretch.
Put it out. Put it out.
Oh. I barely made it right there. I think I passed 15 cars.
You're welcome.
Whew. Thank you. You guys were, you're my only spotter. I can't hear what's going on in the other ear. I can just hear you guys.
So caution's out for the 4th time at lap 29. That's hot dog, no bun right there. For 6 car, Ross Chastain got turned and burned right there.
Yeah, you saw William Byron get a run and go to the inside of Ross going into turn 1. I don't know if William moved up or if Ross came down. We're going to have to go back to this replay and see what really caused that. See William Byron comes off the top, goes to the inside with a bit of a run. Ross Chastain moves down to block as they get into 1. Boy, hard to say. Hard to say. It looked like Ross started to move up to give him a little bit of room.
That was Donnie and Cale material right there. They almost took him down to the apron.
A lot of damage to Ross Chastain. And then the carnage afterwards.
He hit everything but the lottery.
Be curious to see what kind of damage now is going to happen on William Byron's car. Looks like he's going to, yeah, he has front splitter damage, so he's going to have to come down and fix that.
Now you will see the cars, the right side will go up as they change right side tires. There we go, with that lead car on pit road. And then you'll see the left side go up in the air as the crew comes around to put left side tires on. Don't think we saw any 2 tire changes there. We'll wait for an update.
No, but you can see the 24 cars right front damage is fixed. They have a couple different options as far as a full reset or just fixing minor damage on one of those pit stops.
Yeah, if you don't fix minor damage, what we have learned, Jeff, any damage whatsoever on that race car actually hurts the speed. It hurts the performance. So, yeah, fixing the damage is important, and then obviously the full reset.
So here are your new leaders. Dale Earnhardt Jr. out front in the number 8. He also found a sponsor for this race. Most everybody's running their regular Cup sponsors, but...
and I heard the virtual crowd go nuts when Junior took the lead.
Well, of course they did. He and Blake Cook own that company, Filter Time, so that's his...
There they are, see?
That's his sponsor for the weekend.
Even in the virtual world, there's a lot of Junior fans out there.
And the crowd goes home. Not yet. Not yet. 69 laps to go. Earnhardt the leader. Timmy Hill in second. And what a great drive he's had. He has the second most iRacing starts of any driver in this field. Chase Briscoe has almost 2,000 iRaces. Timmy in the 1600s. Garrett Smithley with by far the highest winning percentage of any driver in the field at about 80%.
Yeah, Ty Majeski.
Ty Majeski,
right, yeah, Ty Majeski.
Yeah,
his winning percentage is incredible. Almost 1,200 races and over 900 wins. Hey, look who we found. Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy, you're not last. How are you doing?
Well, maybe we don't have Jimmy Johnson, but you can see he's in his garage. It looks like he's smiling, having fun. Now you can see a little bit different setup on Jimmy Johnson. He's laid back like it's an Indy car or a Formula One car.
Yes, notice, I like that, Jeff. Notice that his feet are higher than his butt dyno.
Yeah, and I'd actually heard that Jimmy is scheduled to do, or was scheduled to do, a test at Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, Alabama, or outside of Birmingham. So to get ready for that test, this was the rig that he had built for himself, which was, as you can tell, is really more set up for an open wheel Indy car or Formula One car.
Very cool setup there. So Jimmy in 34th. Sorry we don't have audio back from Jimmy Johnson's rig there. But we do have a lot of activity on Twitter, as we do during a Cup race. Steve O'Donnell. Immediate bonus. Now that's short track style right there. You get a couple guys fighting after the race where the fans can all see it. You give those guys a bonus and say, come on back next week. I love it.
It's like having a reset button. It's all the things we wish we could have in the real world.
By the way, the Stat Boys are with us. Very happy to have Bert and Ernie along for the ride. And they tell us that the last time Dale Jr. led a NASCAR race was Texas in 2017. Ready for the restart? Green flag.
Speaking of Dale Jr., when I did talk to some other drivers, one of the things that they said was that Dale Jr. is one of the best at saving his tires and having a really good car on the long runs. So no surprise here that Junior's out front, been saving his tires. He's only made one trip down pit road so far. And how about, I gotta say, Alex Bowman. See here, him side by side with Anthony Alfredo. He was almost not going to do this race because he ran the Atlanta race a couple weeks ago. Last week, he wasn't happy with the way that it went and said, I don't know if this iRacing thing is for me. And right now, he's in 5th place.
How about Mr. Where did he come from? No, not Kevin Harvick. That car on the right of your screen, Chase Elliott, up for 3rd. Speaking of Kevin Harvick, he has offered to match Denny Hamlin's pledge. Hamlin said he'd donate money for every lap he led and $5 grand if he wins.
Well, and maybe that was some of the strategy Denny Hamlin had to buy those 2 tires to get out there and lead some laps, $100 a lap, right?
Right. Bubba Wallace up in the top 5 with Alex Bowman. And you're riding with Chase.
Yeah, Chase is just one of those guys that he doesn't talk a lot about maybe some of the things he does behind the scenes when he's on vacation or at home, during the week. I have a feeling Chase Elliott spends more time doing some iRacing than any of us know.
You think there's anybody at the pool hall today to ring the siren if Chase wins this? I hope so. Want to ride along for a lap? All right, Chase Elliott with our Fox virtual visor cam. Jeff, there's only one thing wrong with that shot. Andy Jeffers hasn't been in that car putting 87 sponsor decals on every piece of roll bar and padding in the place.
Mike, what I'm blown away with right now is when I look at the steering inputs from Chase Elliott and I hear the throttle, it is so realistic that when I run a race at Homestead, that's exactly what it felt like, and the timing of it, of rolling out the throttle, waiting on the throttle, the car's a little bit tight, getting to the center, and then rolling back in the throttle, as well as a little bit of looseness as the transition flattens out the straightaway. So realistic.
Frank Wilson's joined us in studio. 6 feet, Frank, 6 feet. Wondering if he'll still get his virtual paycheck on Friday.
I'll be waiting for mine coming the virtual mail. Big wreck. We saw Denny Hamlin involved. There's Parker Kligerman, Kurt Busch. This could be a second reset for Kurt Busch. I think he had pretty heavy damage in a wreck earlier in this race. Hey, there's Kyle Busch. A lot of championships in this field here today.
Right now, the highest running championship winning driver is Joey Logano in 11th. And Fox Sports has also matched Denny's pledge for the day to help virus victims.
You can see some damage to the right front of Kyle Busch's number 18 M&M's Toyota there. I believe coming down this back straightaway, we talked about spotters and being able to clear yourself, and it looked to me, I saw another angle of this that we'll get to here soon. But oh, right there, that's going to take the left front fender out.
That was Kurt Busch.
On Kyle Busch's 18 as he hits his brother, who was spinning on the back straightaway. A lot of action on pit road.
Ooh. Matt DiBenedetto ran hard into somebody trying to get into his pit. And that's, I think that's Garrett Smithley leading them off pit road. Eric Jones, Dale Jr., Chase Elliott, Ryan Preece. And here's the replay from the blimp.
You can see Chase Briscoe in the number 98 ran high. Kurt Busch, I think, feels like he's clear, turns up and just catches the rear bumper on the left front bumper of Chase Briscoe that spins him around and causes this wreck.
Jeff, the way Kurt Busch's car slewed to the right like that, could he have cut down a tire?
I mean, it is possible, Mike, but I just really believe that when the 98 car went up the racetrack, he felt like that he was clear and had plenty of room there to come up. But the 98 of Chase Briscoe got a pretty good run back to his to get to his outside.
Ross Chastain on pit road. And we're under caution for the 5th time today in this 150-miler. Welcome back to the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway and iRacing on Fox, the NASCAR Pro Invitational. And Bob Pockrass brings us some breaking news from Twitter.
Here's Alex Bowman. Needed to take a break, but Finn's going to fill in. Well, I tell you what, Finn's been doing a nice job because right now Alex Bowman went 7th or 8th on this restart. Hang in there, Finn, and I hope Alex gets back for this restart.
I think Finn's ahead of Boyer, who is 11th right now. Because we can, let's take a look at the Toyota top performers. Hello, graphics. Ah, there we are.
They are.
All right, Eric Jones in 7th, Bobby Labonte. Haven't seen Bobby Labonte's name on that chart in a long time, our Fox colleague. Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell are our Toyota top performers.
Yeah, Mike, to me what got Denny Hamlin in trouble was that strategy. He had clean air. He only had 3 additional laps on his tires. He hits pit road, and it puts him right back there in the eye of the storm. William Byron, the only driver in the 24 to stay out. Garrett Smithley on the outside, 2 tires. Everybody else 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, and Larry, I was so anxious to see what would happen with William Byron on that restart because we know in the real world, on this abrasive racetrack at Homestead, you spin the tires really easy on older tires on those restarts. But right there, Alex Bowman was able to get out front pretty easily. Didn't see a lot of wheel spin.
Yeah, he only has 6 green flag laps on those tires. So realistically, you can almost say everybody's kind of even on tires.
Still 31 cars on the lead lap. We don't keep track of resets. I suppose that's a good thing, but each driver is allowed 2 if needed.
Eric Jones around.
And caution. That'll be the 6th one here at lap 45 for Eric Jones.
And I do want to point out something else that's very realistic is the tire modeling. If you flat spot a tire or blow a tire, you're going to have to come down and get new tires. If you wear out a tire just from staying out too long and not coming to pit road, you will have a tire wear all the way down to the cords and cause yourself a lot of speed, or maybe even blow that tire out because of the wearing it completely out.
Now, Austin Cindric will get the free pass on this caution. I think he's the first driver not named Jimmy Johnson to get a free pass today. Remember, Jimmy had trouble getting online at the start of the race and actually started several laps down.
Here's a replay. You see Eric Jones on the outside. Does the car just get loose on him? It's alongside Anthony Alfredo. Oh, this is down the front straightaway now. Oh, I don't know. It looks to me like he didn't realize Alfredo was to the inside, came down, they made contact. Probably some damage to the right front fender on Alfredo's car also, but
they were battling for 8th place.
On board with Alfredo. You can see Eric Jones just moves left very suddenly.
He just turned dead left. Wow.
Could have been a computer glitch. Now, Mike, remember, got to remember that.
That's true.
Some of these things do happen.
Oh, let's go with that.
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
So Jones comes to pit road.
You know, Jeff, you mentioned about a lot of championships out there on this racetrack. How about 32 total as far as Cup, Xfinity, Trucks, and the ARCA Menard Series? 32 championships represented on this racetrack today.
Hey, Clint, you fought your way up to 11th and all that. How'd that happen?
I wish these guys had quit wrecking. I got mine out of the way already.
All right.
We're in the top 10. I'm pretty happy with the top 10. I'd like a single digit here, but the way I see it, just keep riding around down here. They'll take care of themselves, huh?
Absolutely.
Well, you're on a good tire strategy right now. You got only 7 laps since the last time you came down pit road, so you got to feel pretty good about where you're sitting right now.
Yeah, the problem is I took 2 tires, and then when I did that, I slid through the box. How many times he's done that when the old crew chief, old Larry Mack, calls 2 tires, and then the dumb driver slides through the box and ruins his whole strategy? That's what just happened.
That was my whole career, Clint.
All right, let's catch up with Landon Cassill. He's in 8th place, sitting there down amongst the Landon, you know, if you win this thing, we could buy you a few pieces of sheetrock there for that basement wall.
Yeah, actually, I'd love to finish this thing. You know, I'd like to finish it with the car in one piece right now. And I'll tell you, I've ran some A-fixed races this week, and yeah, I tend to be in that second split of iRating guys, and there's some really good drivers. They taught me a lot this week on restarts and how to keep the car in one piece. So hopefully I can continue that, and if we get a long green flag run, I'm just going to try to burn the right rear a little bit to keep the tire wears balanced, and hopefully it doesn't build tight.
All right, have fun.
Great job, Landon. Thanks for talking to us. That's what I love about iRacing. I mean, if you get into this world, there are people all over with basement setups and bedroom setups, and you know, you're on these web cameras, and you know, it can be as simple or as elaborate of a setup as you could possibly see, and it really connects racers in so many different ways.
Well, yeah, we did that rehearsal Friday night, and we had a driver from Clint Boyer's team that we talked to all throughout his race Friday night, and he said, geez, I never thought I'd be racing with Jeff Gordon in my ear. And we told him back, well, we never thought we'd be spending Friday night in your bedroom either.
Yeah, and by the way, make your bed.
Yeah, right, but there we were.
I do want to give shout out to Brandon Cattell. That's who we were talking to the other night. He gave us a lot of great information through our curiosity. How about this tweet from Amy Earnhardt, Mrs. Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Oh, that's very cool. You know, and she brings up a great point that we've talked about all week. There is not another sport that can do this to this degree and have a simulation that's based on real track and real car data, one that has its own championships, and one that can put our sports drivers into these virtual cars with such a high degree of realism.
And I want to take it one step further, Mike, and just thank everybody that made this collaboration happen. We're talking about, you know, iRacing, the drivers from all these different series, all the folks at Fox Sports and NASCAR. I mean, it took a lot to pull this off, and this is fantastic, having a blast being here, and I know these competitors, and hopefully the fans at home that are watching are having a great time too.
Absolutely. This has been a lot of fun. And I think it's opened up a lot of people. I saw people on Twitter this morning going, not a real race, I'm not going to watch. I said, this isn't about being a real race. It's about having fun, and that's why we're here. Well, the fun's about to amp up. Lights out on the pace car. In he comes, and William Byron hits the gas. Timmy Hill, second. Garrett Smithley, third. They are among, all three of them are among the favorites here. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Alex Bowman, the top five.
Halfway. Again, no stages. Oh, we got a little bit of an incident. I don't think that will bring out the caution. They were down on the apron, continuing to roll, but you know, no stage breaks or anything like that. This is going to be a 100-lap race. Yeah, sure, tires and strategy and cautions are going to play a big, important role in that.
Bubba Wallace lost a couple spots, had a long drive through the grass in the backstretch there. This is for the lead. William Byron, Timmy Hill.
And you're actually starting to see something else that's modeled in this virtual world, and that's the weather. As Timmy Hill is making a run at William Byron. Did William Byron get tight off of turn two? I think he did. Those older tires starting to play a factor now, or maybe he's just wanting to get in behind Timmy Hill and save those tires. Oh, the crossover move by William Byron, but the weather actually plays a role in this type of racing also. If the cloud cover comes over, it's going to cool the racetrack down and make the handling different. You see William Byron goes to the inside, not quite clear of Timmy Hill.
And Hill comes back on the outside. Timmy Hill from Port Tobacco, Maryland, regular in the Cup Series, has 673 iRacing victories.
That's a lot of wins, Mike.
Riding with Garrett Smithley.
Hear the car hitting those bumps, very realistic. William Byron fighting back on the outside. Timmy Hill is going to now fall in behind to the rear bumper, maybe go to the inside, use that draft a little bit down the back straightaway to get to the inside of Timmy Hill. See Timmy moves up to give him a little bit of room. This is great angle and view from Garrett Smithley's on board.
Saw a little bit of rubber down in the next to lowest groove on the track. but not up in that high groove where we saw drivers running on Friday night.
Yeah, Mike, I noticed that some drivers in practice will get up there and try different grooves. The one thing that they have not been able to fully model is the aerodynamics, how they roll around the cars and create that buffer, that bubble when you get up close to the wall that we see in real life. And so the driver said, nope, the preferred lane is around the bottom, maybe one groove, 1.5 grooves up off the bottom.
Well, Steve O'Donnell breathes a sigh of relief. We are past halfway. We will have an official race should an errant shower break out here over Homestead, Florida.
Oh, we've always wanted to know what it would be like racing in the rain on a 1.5 mile oval.
No, we haven't. What is it, cloudy in your part of the studio? I haven't noticed any weather over here. Clint, how you doing back there in 12th?
I'm just riding right now, but some of them are backing up to me, so I'm going to have my hands full trying to pass, so that's what I got on my hand. I'm worried about passing.
So, Clint, one of the things I'm noticing, it looks like we're seeing this with William Byron, a little bit older tires towards the front, is it looks like he gets off the X of the corner and gets tight. Maybe he has to check up, and that's opening up the door for cars to get to his inside.
Well, for sure, knowing that I put 2 tires on, I'm behind the 8 ball here. I'm trying to protect my tires, trying to take care of the right front. No different than you would, in normal real life at Homestead. This place eats tires. That's one thing about this place. The only thing that's different about this versus when we do it for real is the line. We obviously, this is the fastest way around, no doubt, but as our tires wear out, we're going to move up and be around there rim riding. Not the case today.
This is the first time that Timmy Hill has led a NASCAR Cup race. It's the first time Mark Smith has produced one. Got a lot of firsts going on here today. And we are told that this race right now is the #2 trending topic on Twitter this afternoon. So thanks to all of you for chiming in. And it just moved, live scoring, just moved to the #1 trending topic on Twitter.
Well, Mike, and I think it's just like you and myself and everybody here at the studio and everybody that's behind the wheel of these cars. It's just great to get back to racing, to have something that's gaining our attention and our excitement for a great sport. Even though it's in the virtual world, it feels real to me, and I think the fans are probably seeing that and enjoying that too. And I can promise you those drivers feel like this is very real. I actually saw some sweat on some of these guys' T-shirts that are sitting there in those rigs.
Like Chase Elliott, we just had a caution, and I believe he was involved. We're at lap 59. This is the 7th yellow, and it follows the longest green flag stretch of the day. Watch the 9 car racing with Bubba Wallace here.
See, Bubba gets a little bit of a run, goes down to the inside of Chase.
Ooh.
Bubba doesn't quite get to the white line. Chase maybe could have given him a little bit more room, but they make contact. Spins the 9 of Chase Elliott around. Not too bad of damage there, though.
I'm going to tell you what, this is setting up strategy, I think, all over the place. The pace had not slowed down that bad, but I think the box that William Byron in the 24 car is in is he has about 7 or 8 more laps than any of these other drivers. I think you're going to see all types of things happen. Stay out, 2 tires like Denny Hamlin did earlier, or 4 tires. And remember, there's only 40 laps to go right now in this race.
So what we noted, here's a look at the replay from on board Bubba Wallace.
Again, we talk about, spotters are so important. Looks to me like maybe Bubba got in there a little bit too deep and slid up the racetrack just enough to catch the left front or left rear of Chase Elliott. Here they are on pit road.
Timmy Hill, Garrett Smithley, and Dale Jr. lead the bond to pit road.
I'm going to be very surprised if everybody doesn't, at least the top 10 guys don't take 4 tires here to try to run this thing out for the last 40 laps.
What we saw Friday night was that drivers that stayed out on worn tires, the lap times fall off about 1.5 seconds from those who were on new tires. Ross Chastain first off pit road, and Justin Allgaier. Chastain was fuel only, I believe, with a 1.9 second stop. What else could it have been?
And a little bit of minor damage fix, because I saw the right rear quarter panel or bumper fix itself on pit road.
We're under caution. with about 40 laps to go. iRacing at Homestead-Miami on FS1.
This is Jeff, you got me?
Jimmy.
Yes.
Jeff, you got me?
Yeah.
There he is. It's a big delay, but we got you.
There he is. Big delay, but we got you.
Cool. We are learning as we go here. We're trying to figure out how to make this all work, including joining the race at the right time.
Well, we're all having a good time watching your setup. It's so much different, right, with the IndyCar setup. It's pretty cool.
For sure.
What's been the biggest challenge for you? I mean, you didn't put in a lot of laps, I'm guessing, before you started all this.
Put in a lot of laps, I'm guessing, before you started all this.
No, I very, very, very few laps. I've been pitting out of sequence. I didn't know how to pull in the pit box right. I lost a couple laps at that point. We entered the race late. It's been a comedy of errors.
Hey, I think you're the lucky dog on this caution.
All right. Caution.
Yeah, well, you're still the first car laps down.
Yeah,
Come
every
on
time
around.
there's caution, if you stay in that position, you'll keep getting them.
I've got all these little, you got to read the screen while you're driving. And it's really tough to figure out what you're supposed to do.
Trust me, we're in the same boat.
Trust me, we're in the same boat.
Okay.
Okay.
David Hill says this is almost as much fun as the real thing, and he says the two of us sound great. So
awesome.
Keep it up. Ah, look at that big infield crowd at, oh no, this is the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway, where Chase Briscoe stayed out on this caution flag. Has about 10 green laps on his tires. And here is Jimmy Johnson, hard at work on his sim rig.
Hey, Jimmy, I got to say thank you for coming and being a part of this. It's awesome to have our 7-time champion out there. But, you know, tell us about what this experience has been like for you so far. I know you don't have a lot of experience iRacing.
No, I am learning as I go here, even as far as trying to get signed in time to make the start of the race. So I lost a few laps there. Getting stopped in my pit box has been a challenge. I have lost a couple laps because I didn't know I wasn't close enough to the pit sign for the pit stop to take place. I thought we were under caution at one point and we weren't, and I caused a huge pileup with the leaders. It's just been a comedy of errors.
Are you having fun?
Are you having fun?
I am. I am completely lost. I'm trying to read the screen and figure out what I'm supposed to do and understand what a delayed green is, but pit lane is open, and chat with you guys. So it is quite different, to say the least.
All right, Jimmy, you got to fill us in here a little bit because your rig looks a lot different than these other guys' rigs. You're laid back. Looks like you got a steering wheel for an IndyCar or Formula One car. Tell us a little bit about this rig and why you purchased it.
Yeah, my rig is so that I can get some reps for an IndyCar or a prototype sports car. I think 21 and 22 could be a combination of those types of vehicles for me. And I really bought this rig just to try to learn different cars and different tracks, and also get prepared for the test that I was supposed to have in Barber in the Indy cars. So that's all been canceled, unfortunately, and I have this rig. It's much different than what the NASCAR rig would have, but it's working now. Really, the biggest difference I have is I have a clutch on the steering wheel, unlike a lot of the guys that have a clutch on the floor for their foot. So there are some subtle differences here that I've had to adjust and kind of assign different things for the system, but it's all working fine.
All right, green flag next time by. Have fun.
Yeah, and fix that damage on the left front next time you get on pit road.
Oh man, I can't even see that.
Yeah, I'm your spotter for you, buddy. Taking care of you.
All right, Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain up front. Timmy Hill, Garrett Smithley, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Dale Jr., Alex Bowman, Parker Kligerman, Ty Majeski. Those are your top 10 with 35 laps to go.
Well, remember, we saw Ross Chastain get spun around earlier in this race where I believe it's him and William Byron made contact. So it's great to see Ross Chastain back up front because he was running very competitively.
Boy, when NASCAR starts back up again, everybody's going to be looking for reset buttons.
You might want to come back if they have one of those.
There you go. Side by side for fourth, William Byron, Ross Chastain.
So far, so good for our leader, Chase Briscoe. What, about 10 more laps of green flag runs on his tires versus the rest of the field behind him right now.
Buddy has track position and clean air over the nose.
Boy, a heavy battle going on between Ross Chastain. Here comes Alex Bowman to the outside, and William Byron. They're 3 wide going down the back straightaway.
Denny Hamlin's right in the thick of that in the number 11.
Yeah, guys, Ross Chastain in that 6 car up there, he's got the same number of tires that Chase Briscoe. All they did was fuel only in that 6 car last time to pit road.
There goes Smithley. All the way back to the lead. Remember, he was our pole sitter in this race, so he knows how to get a lot of speed out of that car. Looks like he had a little bit of contact to the outside wall off of turn 2.
Single file, the top half dozen. The 31 to go at the line.
I say, Mike, I think Timmy Hill, you know, he's been one of the most consistent, him and Smithley. Oh, we got Alex Bowman's turned around the front straightaway.
And that'll bring out the caution. Dale Jr.'s involved.
And I'm not seeing William Byron on their scoring there. He's
sitting
involved.
motionless. Odd that the 8 and the 88 should end up in the same pile up. Look at the virtual damage to the front end of that car. And you see smoke trailing from somebody running down low, front and back end for Alex Bowman. Tangling with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and William Byron. 8th caution flag of the day.
Well, and for a guy, Alex Bowman, who was kind of hesitant to enter this race, he was having a great run in the top 5. This is coming off of turn 4. I don't know if Alex got loose and then came down the racetrack or if he was just trying to block the 24, but then eventually he and William Byron did make contact. William made contact to the rear bumper and turned the 88 around. Here's on board with William Byron. You can see right there, see how the 88 almost got loose. I believe he got loose late off of that corner. William Byron stayed in the throttle and made contact with Alex Bowman, and eventually got down the grass and sent him into the wall.
Guys, look at company coming right there. Denny Hamlin, that 11 car, he has made his way back up to about the 3rd or 4th position. So he's been inching his way back up there since that trouble earlier.
And Larry, I got to believe, you know, coming into this race, talked to a lot of different guys. One of them was Denny Hamlin. He told me that William Byron was one of the favorites. We got less than 30 laps to go. He's going to get a reset, but I don't know if he's going to have an opportunity to get that track position back after falling to the back of the field. But we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, right now, Smithley and Timmy Hill, Denny Hamlin, all looking really good. Parker Kligerman.
Alex Bowman has tweeted that he's blamed that one on Finn.
Here's the 18 of Kyle Busch on board with him. Oh, wow. He had no idea that Alex Bowman had spun and was sitting right in the middle of the straightaway. That's the one thing that Kyle Busch is thankful for right now, because in real life that would have hurt.
Kelly Earnhardt tweets, let me clean this up just a little. Alex must have finally left the room. I wonder which dog was driving when the 88 spun.
Oh.
Darn spell check. All right, we're going to take a break and gather our thoughts. You're riding along with Kyle Busch. Oh, that's got to hurt. All right, welcome back. Here's your Geico race summary. After 73 laps, Garrett Smithley, the leader. 31 lead lap cars, 7 caution flags. And Alex Bowman says he's still in the seat, he has tweeted. The dog is barking at something outside and refused to drive the caution laps.
Hey, Clint.
Man, boys, I tell you what, this is challenging. My hands are sweating, arms are pumped up. It's going to come down to who has the redo left. I'm telling you right now, I thought that I was going to need to wait till afterwards for that cold beer. I need one right now. I mean, it's virtual, right?
Regan Smith waiting for us over at the virtual care center, but that is
might be a good place to be.
Not been a busy place so far. All right, restarting 4th row. Here we go.
Mike, I just love these names that we've got up front here. You know, guys that you don't normally hear a lot talked about in a normal Cup race. Of course, Denny Hamlin is up there, but I love seeing these other guys like Kligerman, Timmy Hill, Garrett Smithley. This is a big, big moment for these guys.
Carl Long just texted me. He says, Timmy Hill wins. We're in the playoffs, right? Steve-O, you want to weigh in on that one? Yeah, what a great opportunity to showcase a couple of young drivers who are trying to become big names in our sport, and today they are. This is Timmy Hill's third start at Homestead-Miami Speedway, if you're keeping track at home. Garrett Smithley has never driven a Cup car here, but he has 5 Xfinity starts at this track, and 1 in the Truck Series.
Pretty heavy damage as we look from the onboard from Anthony Alfredo's. The damage to the 77 of Kligerman, even a little bit of a tire rub there. We know what happens in the real world when those right side tires are smoking like that.
And we gleaned from Twitter, you talk about race strategy, that Garrett Smithley on his channel, they've been talking about, they are thinking that William Byron is out of resets. And I believe that's the case. All right, how about a Credit One Bank driver update, because we can. That would be Kyle Larson. Started 14th. Currently, he is running in the 7th position.
And he's coming to the front here also. We have not talked a lot about Kyle Larson. Of course, normally we'd see him up against the fence at this racetrack, rim riding, as Clint Boyer says it. But he's been making his way slowly but steadily to the front since that last restart.
And the yellow is out with 23 to go. 9th caution flag. Here at lap 77. And let's see whose dog is involved in this one.
Well, it's certainly going to make Larry McReynolds' calculator get very interesting on whether you come and get tires now that they've made a couple more green flag laps.
I can't wait to see what Larry makes up for trends for this race.
If we ever get there.
We will. No.
Yeah, I just don't see these guys up front pitting, because even the ones that has stayed out, they only have about 13, 14 laps. It just looks like to me track position is absolutely king, especially as we keep getting these cautions.
I'm afraid, Mike, this might be our very own Clint Boyer here in the studio. I think I could hear him screaming from.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Actually, the 34 and the 6 get together first. McDowell and Ross Chastain. Now you see the 37. Oh, Clint, you got turned, buddy.
That was.
He's obviously trying. He's focused on trying to get his reset. Remember he said he's going to need one.
Oh. I saw those guys wreck in the mirror, and I thought the caution was coming out. I was just waiting for it.
And
then,
you
was
were
the
in.
caution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Preece turning off the bumper of Ryan Preece's car.
So did you come down on him a little bit, or did he come up into you?
Where am I at here?
That's this now. So Clint, walk us through this. You're trying to now go and get a reset on pit road. Is
yeah,
that
I think so. I have no idea. I'm trying to get a reset here. It's my last reset, so I don't know where everybody's at on resets, but that's going to be really important as we get down to 20 laps to go. I can promise you that.
So there's a reset button you hit, and they hold you for a certain amount of time, and then boom, you have a brand new car.
Guys, it looked like the top 13 drivers stayed out. The first driver to pit, Denny Hamlin, in that 11 car right now is sitting 14th. So top 13 did stay out.
What's interesting there, Larry, is Denny Hamlin actually did come and get tires. Here's some more Twitter action. Ryan Blaney.
Look on the photo caption, living a lifelong dream. Crew chief for Chase Elliott. They're running 12th.
I want to know how come he's not driving. I'd love to have had him in the field.
We've asked to give a shout out to Bobby Labonte. I mean, here's, let's see, Bobby, according to Twitter, is 55. He's been retired for years, has very little iRacing experience. Can we take a moment to appreciate how great he's running today? Yes, of course we can.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
In 4th position right now.
Mike, I'm going to challenge you on his iRacing experience. This week alone, Bobby Labonte has logged over 1,000 laps of practice. In fact, one day he did roughly 400 laps of practice.
And there it is, Bobby Labonte in that number 19 Bass Pro Shops Toyota. No Martin Truex Jr. in this field today, but we do have Bobby Labonte behind the wheel of that 19 and past champion. That's very cool.
And returning to Joe Gibbs Racing. So
yes.
If you're looking for horse racing on FS1, it will be here right after the conclusion of our iRace. Horse racing, America's Day at the Races, is beginning over on FS2. And we'll switch over to FS1 when this race is complete. 20 to go. Wish that starter would hold off on that caution flag a bit if he can. We can get these last 20 laps in. Darrell Waltrip weighs in on Twitter from Franklin, Tennessee. Good to have DW with us.
DW.
Talking about.
Love to hear what his thoughts would be about some virtual iRacing going on.
Talking about the coordination and the attention that it takes to get this done and do it well. And I think the neat thing, Jeff, is that while iRacing requires hand-eye coordination, it requires a lot of what you do driving the race car. There's a lot that is not involved. There's no, Clint and I were talking last night, there's no butt dyno. There's no feel for what that car is doing. Is it pushing? Is it starting to break loose? So a lot of the senses that you rely on as a championship race driver, you don't have available here.
And Mike, when you're out there in the real car, you are hearing the noises of the engine, the RPMs up and down differently than you would in the iRacing setup. But also you feel the air come in the driver's side window when you're side by side with somebody. Sometimes when that air changes its direction or speed, you know how that's going to affect the car. So yeah, there are a lot of things here, very visual about what you're looking at that's straight ahead of you and how you react to it.
All right, ready for the green flag here with 19 to go. Smithley, Hill, Kligerman, Labonte.
Really good restart by Timmy Hill on the outside. Is he going to try to side draft Garrett Smithley and maybe take this lead? Looks like he goes wide. Now opens up the door for the 77 to Kligerman, who still, by the way, has a little bit of damage to the right side on that 77 machine.
Are you saying side drafting works?
Well, I've heard that it doesn't. It's not as effective as it is in the real world, but it does work. You see Bobby Labonte to the high side there.
All right, DiBenedetto trying to get into position here in fourth behind Kligerman. Chastain on his bumper, and then Briscoe.
And you saw DiBenedetto really dove to the inside of Parker Kligerman into turn one. That's why Kligerman, as you're on board here, is up on that middle, in that middle lane.
Want to crank it up?
Yes.
They just did. And got a problem there with a car around. Now, cars that crash disappear from the screen as they go. Once a car comes to a halt, after a second or two, it will disappear. It will show back up on pit road where the driver can get a reset. Darrell Waltrip just tweeted that he used up all his resets on the parade lap, so he's out.
Well, somebody that hasn't used them all up is on the outside, working outside of Matt DiBenedetto. Dale Earnhardt Jr. coming to the front. Remember I talked about this, Mike. Everybody says he's one of the best at saving his tires and having some extra speed at the end of the race. Well, here he comes.
And Jeff, he has a little bit fresher tires than those three drivers in front of him. He has about 5 or 6 less laps on his.
Yeah, so being good at saving the tires and having fresher tires definitely going to play into Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s hands here late in this race.
That was Kyle Busch, you saw briefly slow on the apron. He's gone 2 laps down. But wow, what a battle we've got here. Smithley and Hill checking out, trying to make it a 2-man race for the win.
Dale Jr.
But behind them, it's on.
Like Dale Earnhardt Jr. was able to clear Matt DiBenedetto, move into 3rd place, try to track down our 2 leaders, Smithley and Hill.
10 to go. Priest back up in the mix, passing Chastain, and here comes Bubba Wallace in 10th.
Yeah, Bubba's one of those drivers that came down pit road the last time as pretty fresh tires. He, Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin.
3rd, 4th, 5th single file. The battle is for 6th place. DiBenedetto, Priest, and Majeski.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe, another one of those drivers that came down pit road when Dale Jr. did. So, you know, 5 or 6 laps of fresher tires on their cars. Now, is Jr. going to try to see if these guys will race one another and take advantage of them running faster laps, using up their tires? Definitely some more strategy going on here as we come down to 10 to go.
10 laps to go, sponsored by Jeff Gordon Chevrolet. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Might have to sponsor one of these cars the next time.
It's time for the trends.
Oh yeah, what I did, it took me a while. I looked back at the last 10 Cup Homestead races, and the average of the last caution is in the last 8% of the race. 8% of this race, lap 92, roughly 8 laps to go. But you know what? We have not had an overtime finish. So, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. is catching this group, guys.
Yes, they are. He and Briscoe are running down the leaders.
When you see Timmy Hill right there closed up to the rear bumper of Smithley down the front straightaway, he sees his mirror getting full of Dale Earnhardt Jr. as well as Chase Briscoe behind him. He sees him closing in. He's got to make a move to try to get this lead and get out in the clean air. And there goes Timmy Hill to the inside of Garrett Smithley, going to take over that lead. And here comes Junior. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to come along with him. Maybe, I'm not sure. He hasn't. Timmy Hill has not quite cleared Smithley.
Wow, 8 to go, 4 cars under a blanket for the lead. And then about a second back to Ryan Priest, Kligerman, and Bowman.
You saw right there, Dale Earnhardt Jr., those fresher tires, that car really rolled through the center. Got a big run all the way to get to the, almost to the inside of our leader, Timmy Hill. Three wide, a little bit further back. Denny Hamlin with those fresher tires. Any of these guys that are in front of him.
Hamlin is coming. His lap times are about 0.2 of a second faster than the drivers that he is chasing.
Yeah, he and Alex Bowman both on that same fresher set of tires. They are closing fast. Can they close fast enough with only 6.5 or yeah, coming down to 6 to go? So, Mike, you can see Dale Earnhardt Jr. back in the entry of the corner up into turn 1. I think what he's trying to do is get a run off the corner down this back straightaway and try to get position, move that car that he's trying to pass Timmy Hill to the outside lane, because that bottom lane is the preferred lane. Just like in the real world, if you get back to the throttle a little bit too early, the car will start to push. Here's a nice run by Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's going to get there to the inside, but can he complete this pass on Timmy Hill? Well, he sailed it off in there.
Hill tried to keep him down lower than where all the rubber is laid down, but they're even off the corner.
I mean, I'm just so impressed with these drivers running side by side. Oh, we got an incident in the back straightaway. Might not bring out a caution, though.
That was Truex and the 3 of Austin Dillon getting together.
And that's going to allow Dale Earnhardt Jr. to take the lead. Now it's up to Chase Briscoe to try to get to either the inside or outside of Timmy Hill. Timmy Hill not going to go down without a fight, though. He gets to the inside of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Good move, strong move by Timmy Hill into the corner on the inside. And here comes Hamlin trying to make good on that $5,000 pledge if he wins it.
Oh, he's there, and with quite a bit fresher tires. As these guys run side by side, all they're doing is eating their tires up even more. Oh, Denny's going to try to make a move to the inside of the 98 of Briscoe. What a race. 4 to come to 3 to go. As Briscoe gets 3 wide to the inside.
If Hamlin wins it, Denny, Fox Sports, and Kevin Harvick will each donate $5,000 to aid people affected by the virus in South Florida. But it's far from over with 2.5 to go.
Well, you see the big run Denny Hamlin got right there to the rear bumper, the 8 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now this car, especially late in the race, you got to be careful bump drafting because you can spin that car out very easily in front of you.
Timmy Hill trying to win the race of his life here,
now
battling Dale Jr. and Denny Hamlin.
That pushed Dale Jr. to the lead, but also opened up the door for Denny Hamlin on the outside. It's going to be a heck of a battle when we take this white flag, Mike, because I still think Denny Hamlin has the faster race car because of those fresher tires. Watch this run that Denny Hamlin gets off the top of the racetrack.
1 lap to go, sponsored by, oh, you know.
Well, Dale Jr. saw right there, he moved to the inside, giving the outside to Denny Hamlin, and Denny's going to get there. Wow, what a race on the final lap off of turn 2, side by side. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Denny Hamlin.
What a march to the front through this field for Hamlin.
That's a lot of Daytona 500 wins among those 2 drivers.
Hill in 3rd, Briscoe 4th, Smithley 5th. Here they come off the corner for the final time.
Oh.
They all but come together, and the winner is Hamlin.
Wow, what a race. What a finish. Yeah, those fans should be cheering. They saw a heck of a race.
That is incredible. Denny Hamlin bests Dale Earnhardt Jr. off the final corner. Timmy Hill has a great showing, as does Chase Briscoe and Garrett Smithley.
Mike, that was exciting.
It really was.
And a great contribution by Denny, by Fox Sports, and Kevin Harvick to help those in need down there in South Florida.
This is Hamlin's 31st iRacing win. It comes in his 164th start. It's his 75th top 5.
And I got to say, Denny was extremely instrumental in helping to pull all the drivers together for this. Helping iRacing, helping Fox Sports, everybody that was involved in making this happen. He was a big part of it. Thank you, Denny Hamlin, for all the help. I know I had a lot of text messages going back and forth with Denny to understand what all goes on to this type of sim racing. And then there was this tweet by Denny Hamlin earlier in the week.
Kevin Harvick said he would match that. So did Fox Sports, and I'm sure there will be others. What an incredible finish.
Mike, that was exciting. I mean, I know it was virtual, I know it was sim racing, but I felt like I was there calling a real race. And
this from Steve O'Donnell, NASCAR Steve O'Donnell. He tweets, "Security, please report to the Denny Hamlin car." You know, I just love how the whole sport came together to provide a few laughs, a bit of competition, and an hour and a half of entertainment with everything that everybody is dealing with these weeks. An uncertain future. NASCAR says they will run the entire season of 36 races. We just don't know when. But today, we got to see a race and a really great finish. Here's the last half lap.
And here's why Denny Hamlin's going to need security getting out of his rig because he went to the outside of Dale Earnhardt Jr. I'm sure there are a lot of people at home pulling for Dale Earnhardt Jr. to win this race. Almost made contact. Great job not spinning out for Dale Earnhardt Jr., but Denny Hamlin getting the win. And of course, what's a win without doing some really good donuts?
Why don't we have a donut sponsor? I don't understand that. All right, let's see if we can get our winner on the line and do our virtual Victory Lane interview. Denny Hamlin, wow, congratulations. What a fantastic run through the field.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I didn't think we were going to get back there, especially, 10 to go. We were just, 13th or so, and I kind of got bottled up there and really made the top line work those last few laps to get the win.
Yeah, Denny, this is Jeff. A few of you guys, I know Alex Bowman was one of them also that you were battling with that came in and got tires on that last caution. And, just what happened and allowed you to get through that traffic so quickly? And I guess maybe those two guys running side by side probably played a big role too. But how much more grip did you have than those other competitors around you?
Well, I thought we had about a 2/10 advantage with tires, and when they were running side by side, yeah, it certainly helped me. And then I got kind of in an incident there where I got pinched in 1 and 2 with about 9 to go, and I didn't think we were going to get back there, but the pace we were running, my spotter Keegan just tell me, you're going to get there, just one per lap, and I just try to keep that pace all the way to the finish.
Well, we're watching right here, Denny. It's, something you were able to do that nobody else could do. And Dale Jr. gave you that outside lane as you came to take the white flag. You took advantage of it and were able to just roll right to his outside through 1 and 2.
Yeah, I thought about it because, the bottom is definitely preferred groove. Up top is not good. Definitely don't have the grip, but I thought I had enough tire advantage that I was going to be able to hold him off. And not only that, with him on old tires, his exit wasn't going to be as good. So I just ran my line. He gave me the proper space, and we were able to race clean to the line.
Well, congratulations, Denny. Go celebrate with your crew, and I'm sure the NASCAR Foundation will be happy to see you get out your checkbook. But congratulations on a great day.
Yeah, thank you for that donation. It was an awesome race, Denny. Thanks for all your help making this happen.
Yeah, thank y'all. Look forward to it. I'd love to do it again, and thank y'all for putting this on.
Well, thank you. Let's check in with our in-race reporter, Clint Boyer. Well, how'd it go?
Guys, I let you down. Heck, I let myself down. Let my fans down. Had sponsors in the stands. Praying for a good showing. Ended up wrecking, using both redos, as a matter of fact. But I think the real takeaway is, obviously, I need a lot more practice. Denny, you said the laps. I still think what is he, like, he won, so he's donating $5,000. I think he's $130,000 in the hole with his win. So I think I still won. I am satisfied with where everything is at in the country. I hope the fans were satisfied. I hope they got their minds off of things for a little bit, and we'll be back. I will be better, and promise you, if you get an iRacing, you get online, you're going to see all these boys probably tonight battling at it again.
Well, we were #1 trending on Twitter mid-race, so thanks for being with us, bringing your rig in, and for being part of the telecast.
Yeah, thank you, Clint. It was fun.
That was awesome. Let's see if we can get a word with Dale Jr., who finished second today. And, wow, what a fantastic run. Just not quite enough for Denny Hamlin today.
User left your channel.
Oh, well.
Had about 10 laps better tires than we did, and he's very, very good. Yeah, he's really, really good. So I've raced him on here for 2 decades. I thought he would be hard to beat. I thought William Byron would be tough to beat, too.
Well, Dale, I thought it was fantastic racing, watching you come up through there, utilizing a little bit fresher tires on Timmy Hill and some of the guys you were racing. You had to run side by side there for several laps to get the lead. Do you think that used a little bit of your tires so you didn't have more grip to race Denny Hamlin at the end?
Well, I don't know. I was trying to get a good finish. I was trying to win the race, and I was trying not to wreck anybody. So I think I probably would have probably gave Denny a little more room than I really wanted to. But I had to keep from crashing him or anybody else. And we got together off of 4. I thought I might have been able to get a photo finish at the line, but we got together off of 4 and about wrecked there. But it was fun. Denny had them tires, and he's just really, really fast. But it was a fun race.
Well, we think you did an awesome job, and I know the fans were really excited to see you back behind the wheel, even if it was just in a virtual sense. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Dale. It was awesome. Appreciate everything.
So that wraps things up. How's Jeff Gluck going to get his quiet track photo from Homestead-Miami Speedway? For Jeff Gordon, Larry McReynolds, Clint Boyer, and all the NASCAR stars that competed today, I'm Mike Joy. Thanks for joining us. Coming up next, America's Day at the Races, live on FS1.